Invoker is quite strong as well. And, you know, the Lich, Chain Frost. Not only that, the laning phase is going to be really hard for the Io Gyro. I think that's what really hurt the matchup last time we saw it. The Lich is going to slow down your XP gain by quite a fair bit. And you do want to kind of hit your XP timings as this duo, which is going to be really hard when you're playing against a Lich who's always denying those range creeps.
A very fair point. See how they keep up on the side of DBG. Like already scout out, but they're already leaving the base. Does look like TNC. They draw a couple lines down bot, perhaps indicating something. Gabby. Boy, is the offlane it seemed. Feels slightly strange. He's running straight to the bot lane, but they are going to put Cuckoo in that safe lane on that lane with Kims as the Earthshaker. Armel, of course, we expect him to be in the mid lane, and Ninja Boogie. Well, I guess it goes back to what you said, right? You have the Lich, deny that range creep every single time you get. That way, you always have the enemy team at an XP deficit. Especially when you've got a combo like Io Gyro that they're going to level up together. They both require high levels to really be effective.
Yeah, so this bot lane is going to be trouble for DBG. Again, they're probably going to throw Ninja Boogie down there, along with Gabby on the off lane Void now. And, you know, you slow down that timing, you slow down that level 6 on Firefly and MS. They're not going to have the impact they want in the early mid-game. They're not going to be able to pressure lanes as much as they'd want to. Gabby now just kind of positioning himself far forward to show them that he is going to contest their runes. But, you know, it's not going to amount to much. He's not going to play tag with a Gyrocop and probably burst down quite a fair bit of his HP. Nope, he's going to play tag.
Perhaps trying to bait out the Rocket Barrage being leveled up. MS, he doesn't do it though. Not that it would be such a bad thing, but it does seem like a lot of Gyros do like prioritizing that level 1 Black Cannon instead.
They are lane swapping now, Mike. MS and Firefly are walking to the top lane. And that is kind of more favorable. I think all you do here as TNC is maybe TP down Lich to that top lane to slow down that XP, but you know, that's they've wasted a considerable amount of time just walking up there now, Mike.
Well, in this league, in fact, look at mid lane. Camera, how much damage are you going to deal to Armel? Poor bloke just got here. Camera already very aggressive on this Tiny, as I guess he should be. The matchup does seem to favor the Invoker a bit later on, unless you're about to correct me, John.
Nah, it's early level stuff. If you go the way of Tiny, you can definitely out-harass the Invoker with Tree Grab. As it goes on, again, I think it still kind of favors Tiny, but it depends on how Armel plays with his spells, what he prioritizes for levels in his orbs. It really depends on that, but I think the Tiny should be able to get a fair bit from this lane. Shouldn't be a total mismatch.
Hold on. Again, he managed to dodge that avalanche, but still, Kama was just throwing it out for those CS. Kama's doing a fantastic job at the moment. I don't think he's actually missed one. Well, missed one thanks to Armel. Top lane, they haven't switched out that Lich yet. So they do keep Tims and Cuckoo up at that top lane. Though mind you, MS and Firefly, they're really getting nothing out of this lane so far. Firefly just about to hit that level 2 mark after this creep. Things are still pretty rough for this combination.
Yeah, it's not as much CS and XP as you'd want in this combination, but you know, I think they're still fairly better off than playing against a Lich in the lane. So that bot lane is gonna cop a bit. I mean, Guevara does want XP as well as a Necrophos, but do you prioritize XP in the Necrophos or in the Io Gyro? I think you prioritize the Io Gyro in that case. Guevara does drop very low.
Still being chased down by Ninja Boogie. One more right click may do it. In fact, the magic missile comes out in time. The Sunstrike, though, will connect from Armel.
Oh, man.
Cuckoo, meanwhile, he'll find Firefly at that top lane, but John, on the brighter side, I guess Guevara got the first blood. The mid lane, actually, Armel getting in a bit of danger, but you were about to say.
I mean, it's just, again, it comes down to what DBG decides to prioritize. Do they want the Necrophos to have a good time, or do they want Firefly and MS to have a good time? It looks like they really do want to prioritize that XP on this duo, but they're not even getting that up at top lane, and the bot lane is definitely, you know, hurting for Guevara. He had to go for 201 on his build, so no Ghost Shroud to save him from the damage, no Ghost Shroud to save him to heal himself up. Instead, he's just gonna have to try to wait for Death Pulse to be up every time, and that really takes away from the prowess of Necrophos in the laning phase.
Certainly does. The mid lane as well right now, John. Kama, he's in that really... Well, he's not anymore because he does salve up, but for a while he was sitting there in that Sunstrike range. Full 4 if it does connect, but he was just waiting for the salve the whole time. Back to the point you were making about Guevara though on that Necrophos. Like, if both your side lanes are having a tough time, how do you go up against the Void late game? Like, you need to be pretty farmed up to contest this Chronosphere later on.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just good positioning. Once you get to that late game, you definitely can't afford to clump up. You can't let the Void chrono both the Venge and the Gyrocopter and the Necrophos. So when he goes for Chronosphere, you have to make sure that only 2 heroes are caught, and one of them is not the Venge or the Necrophos. If it's both of them caught out, you're gonna have a hard time. You won't have the save. You won't have a way of stopping the Void, you know, just basically killing everyone in that Chronosphere and following up after. So you do have to make sure your positioning is on point. Gabby is copying quite a fair bit from Necrophos, but just salves up.
And I'll tell you, mid lane, of course, that actually top lane right now. They're making the chase onto Cuckoo on that Lina. Can they burst him down? The Sunstrike though, Firefly, they'll both dodge it in fact. Cuckoo is in massive, massive trouble. Line Strike is there, they'll find Firefly. Cuckoo, he can't juke it out. Black Cannon, right click was there. I was saying, meanwhile, like Kama, he was forced back in that mid lane. Armel just feeling way too much harassment before, but now he is back. Well, you've got the Io now. Armel gets tossed back all the way back to that tier 1 tower. Top 1 hit from them. There is a rotation coming in. Tim's on that Earthshaker. Can he really help out? Fisher will be there though. Kama has a toss available, just needs a target. Does also grab a tree for himself. Armel trying to juggle while all this is happening. Nice body blocks there from Tim's. Now Avalanche toss is there. Armel, can they turn this around? The Shrine available, but no, the Spirits will get the job done. Though Firefly learning the hard way about these ancient creeps. And the pings come out, they know how low he's getting. We'll salve up, he'll be alright.
That is pretty terrifying. Walking up to those Prowlers, it's not a good idea. As a support, you do draw the aggro and get rooted up, get the minus armor done as well, and oh boy, you just kind of melt us an IO, but very close call. Nice, clean, well, not really kill, but good amount of pressure onto Armel, which really was the issue last game. Armel had a free run. This time around, he's facing a lot of pressure. He's still finding what he wants from the lane though. 30-8 compared to the Tiny's 20-62. He's still having a decent enough time.
Meanwhile though, top lane, Cuckoo, he tried to go forward for that stun attempt onto Firefly, ends up losing his own life though, and MS will be the one to pick it up. That is not the greatest of news for PNC. You don't want to be giving MS away to get back into this game on that Gyrocopter. And he kind of is already. He's topped the last hits board now as well. So, Gyro later on, especially during that mid game, is not going to be an easy time. See how TNC deals with it.
Definitely not going to be an easy time again. I figured that Lich would be there to slow down that XP progression, but they have really not slowed down DBG at this top lane. MS and Firefly have found a decent amount of levels on themselves. They should hit their level 6 fairly soon. And once that's up, you know, Firefly can be really active with the Relocate ganks. And it's going to be a bit scary.
They find Cuckoo again. The Line Strike rate connected this time. Sunstrike, Laguna Blade, not going to be enough MS. He will get right to death though. Now Firefly, the only one left. The stun connects again from Cuckoo. And he gets slapped before he could actually tether out. Kama, he tried to rotate it and help out, but fortunately for him now, it's a bit of a waste of time. Him's try to Fisher casually to cancel off the clarity. Kama will just stick around the top lane, try and farm up a bit, but again, this leaves Armel in that mid lane just free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen what Armel does when he has a runaway start. He's gonna get that runaway start now with Kama having to help out in that top lane early on. They're gonna stick to a tri-lane here. It looks like they really don't want... they really want to secure a good start for MS. but I don't think you gain anything from shutting down Cuckoo's Lina as well. So I guess this is all really just to make sure MS gets good farm that Gyrocopter.
Radiant's middle tower.
We're gonna find Tim's top lane.
Radiant structures.
The IO tiny combo this time around. We'll take care of that. I guess that is really one of the beauties about the this style of draft DBG have is you don't always have to just tether to the gyro. You can always tether to the tiny as well. Relocate him around instead. Bot lane, Chrono was out. They end up finding Guevara on that Necrophos. They do commit the Chrono. They commit the Laguna Blade. It's on strike, but that is a core Necrophos at the top of the last hit board. Well worth it for the side of TNC.
Definitely so, and you know, I do like seeing this from Cuckoo. He's been very active on the map just after he hit to 6. Tim's is in spot trouble.
Yep, MS. Can't actually find it. Sunstrike will come in, Firefly will cop it, although they will finally get Tim's. Now can they make a run for it though? They will get the IO MS. Pretty much sitting duck at the moment, and Armel's chasing. Dragon Slave actually hits him off the tornado.
The tornado. They don't even bother trying to chase MS after that. They're like, oh, nope. that tornado travel distance of 800 with just 1 level of Wex. Of course, it's gonna be terrible. It looked like it could have been a kill, but you know, it's like, oh, just one Wex. So.
Oh my. Anyway, moving on. He tried. It happened.
He tried.
Camera will return to that mid lane now as the tiny.
Is under attack.
Farming pretty not that well on this tiny. Like he's in the middle of the net worth board. But perhaps some time in the mid lane will help him catch up a bit. Current top net worth, MS on that gyrocopter, so he's doing a great old job. Mind you, he's closely again followed by Armel. Boyd in that 4th place position, being played by Gabby. So again, we have a very even game on our hands 10 minutes in. Like, no one seems to be really leading per se. It's just sitting at that weird net worth mark where it's just even. Like below the 500 net worth mark advantage. Back now it's just the even line.
Yeah, I think this kind of start does kind of favor DBG. Because this means that they've at least drawn even against TNC, who wants to really shut down a good start for MS. So the IO Gyrocopter combination should get off to a good start once they get their first relocate gank in. As, you know, they haven't really slowed down Firefly. They killed him a couple of times, 4 times in fact. But he's still finding the XP he wants. He does get level 7 now with that book. And they might just go for a relocate gank right now, it looks like. Maybe. Fairly soon.
They do end up getting the Void. Toss in from Aghanim for the magic missile, to the avalanche toss and the Reaper Scythe. All too much for Gabby on that Void. Gamma. Well, he's at that point on that tiny now where he really starts to escalate. So he doesn't have a Blink Dagger up quite yet, but he's about 1.2k gold away. Defense is coming out for this bot lane, but they don't really bother initiating. So DBG, they'll take the free. They'll be able to just walk out of there scot-free. So this rotation, a waste of time for TNC.
Yeah, a fair bit of wasted time for TNC. Looks like they might be going for a smoke now. Yeah, so that smoke up. Chrono is off cooldown. They do have Chain Frost as well. We'll see what they can do.
Lane, we'll find Guevara again. Chrono immediately committed. Laguna available with the Sunstrike will be enough. Armel will take that one, that Invoker. Straight away with that, I mean, that's one of the top net worths on the board. Why the hell not? They'll go for the tier 1 mid tower afterwards. Question is, will DBG try and defend the TP from that gyrocopter? They will back off as soon as he comes in.
I thought they were gonna go for a trade. They could have probably killed off Tim's if they tried to pressure that tier 1 up top. But they go for the safer play, just defend their tier 1 mid, which is much more crucial than top, or than the other side towers, of course. So they hold on to that crucial piece of map control, and they are smoked up behind MS now. Looks like they might be trying to bait out the defense.
Classic bait play. Top a homing missile, they will go in from behind. Aghanim actually gonna die in this. They really want this Lina kill. Chain Frost is there though, bouncing between them. Guevara He does go Shroud up. Tims is there with a very nice vision. Now the Reaper's side. They'll catch the Lich. So Gabby's here with Armel. The buyback comes in from Tims. Onto 2 heroes. MS loses his own life. And now Firefly just trying to make a run out. In fact, what the hell is Camera doing there? Looks like he should end up falling, although he is trying to make the run. Now Firefly actually goes up the hill, and the Fisher connects as well. Camera will end up going down. It's a full team wipe for the side of DBG, and that was just... I mean, it was a bit disastrous, wasn't it?
It did not go the way they planned. They thought they were baiting in a defense. Instead, they got baited into thinking they got beat off. So layers of bait there, Mike. Quite heavy layers of bait, and that was without Chronosphere, mind you. That was TNC taking the team fight without a Chronosphere, mainly because, you know, you walk the Venge +1 in the back line, but the Lich is there waiting, has the Chain Frost. Chain Frost's up and immediately bursts you 2 down. It's really kind of keen from DBG. Maybe they needed more information, more wards out, because I don't think they could spot anything from that side. All their wards right now are in their jungle, just 1 ward watching that, trying to keep it safe. So that move was really risky in terms of the information they had on hand.
Absolutely. At the end of it all, being saying it was going to hold with a point of time. Very nice by him. And get caught out top lane. No, it's available. Gabby has to do the support off the net. Now the pop fight. Chain Frost was there and then no, one never doesn't have to be available. Moving forward, really looks like Tims will be the big sacrifice. DBG, he will.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Back to the Lich, but he got the vent.
Yeah, that is a 2-for-1 trade going the way of DBG. They do lose out in their mid tower though. So I guess that is the silver lining here for TNC. They get to secure themselves a bit more map control. It's now much harder for DBG to contest Roshan. And I think, honestly, that might just be worthwhile. If you lose 2 supports, sure, you expend Chronosphere, but Gabby has been very happy to just use that Chronosphere in 1 kill. I think that's fine at this point in the game. You're not forcing out very big 5v5 team fights yet.
Bot lane, who ends up falling, who came on that time. He didn't run around any moment, it was so easy to find the They just relocated based on Firefly. I guess Firefly felt them and help. He had the took him out very easily indeed. They are got that mid team. Really. That is Aghanim. Get so you don't have to be Invoker. They'll fortify the creeps. Make sure that protection. They really anyway. Yeah, it's just
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I don't think they go for that defense, not when Chrono's down and no one's really in position this time. They don't have Ninja Bogey hanging out in the right spot. Cuckoo was not there as well. So, you know, that tier 1 was just going to go down. And that does give DBG a slight edge, as they do take out 2 tier 1s already. 3 tier 1s from TNC. Whereas TNC only really take that mid tower.
Radiant are scanning.
It's off. Once you get active on Armel, there is a smoking. Again, it's Guevara that shows up and to be ganked up the team. Armel is in cold snap corner and Viewer as well. And Guevara can actually survive blast the boot. Who actually know traps. Right, we're not going to, but there's the chrono. They didn't really want to minute, but if they have to, they will. They'll find nice picks. There was another TP coming in, but it was cancelled off. Another 2-1 bot tower will end up falling to the side of TNC.
Yeah, nice clean pickoffs for TNC again. Gabby does not hesitate with these Chronospheres, which is what you really kind of want to see in the early game. We are still 17 minutes in. Ninja Bogey is very far forward though.
Yeah, we're not a warding mission by himself. We'll get to what I mind. The rest of the team is coming in. Armel, EMP, the spirits are no swap available to take him down. Now Kama also surrounded the cold stack there as well. Laguna Blade, it'll all be too much. MS was coming in, but probably going to be thankful that TNC didn't plan to turn around for him as well. So again, TNC finding themselves in front, 13 to 18, 3k net worth lead to Dire. See,
all they really lose in that team fight was the Lich. They take out the Tiny and the Venge. Really nice cleanup for them, and you know, they don't manage to plant any wards, sadly enough. I believe there was a sentry ward down there anyway, so Ninja Boogie not managing to plant that deep vision he wanted to. But they still managed to secure a lot. They slow down the Tiny's progression. He's really not progressing items too well. Just behind Void though, so not too bad, but not amazing either. Keeping him in check. MS is doing quite well for himself. 700 gold behind Armel, and hitting his mid-game items quite nicely. I don't think we've seen a big relocate gank just yet, so we still have to watch out for that from MS and Firefly.
But MS, do you feel like he doesn't feel too confident to engage with that relocate without a BKB first?
I think that's a fair point. You know, he's going to be very susceptible to the damage coming out from TNC. Like, you gank up Armel, he's going to control you. You pick up Cuckoo, he's going to stun lock you as well. So you do kind of want that BKB to at least go pretty ham in jumping in, because a lot of TNC does have a lot of control on their side. So it's not really any safe bet that you can gank any of these heroes alone safely, unless you maybe just expend it on Ninja Boogie, but relocating for a Lich doesn't sound like the greatest idea.
Top lane. Slowly pushed in by Kavara. Looks like they were trying to bait out the side of TNC, but nobody comes in to help. Do in fact lane. They may get jumped into Boogie with the first target. Gabby has the chrono available, holds out, does surround the time dilation. Now the Chaos Meteor will burst down the bench. They go for more with this, and the chrono will only connect on the Tiny, but that is the better target. They Yule stuff. Actually, Echo slamming the backlines as well from Tims. He finds the relocate from the Gyro Io. Gavara, Reaper Slap on Cuckoo. Double Light Strike Array comes out as well. Gabby, can he finish off MS? There's the MP, there's Tornado. MS is dead, and now Gavara as well. Tims was waiting in the backlines the whole time for that relocate. Gabby finds himself a triple kill, and that is a full team wipe. Again coming out from the side of TNC, 20 minutes into this game.
That's the second team wipe for TNC. They've cleaned up DBG twice over, for, you know, a full team wipe twice over, and that was the blink from Tims, but he didn't even need to blink in. He just sat in the back, waited for the IO relocate to come in and just slammed in. Really a lot of patience coming out from TNC. Like, Gabby as well holding out in that Chronosphere, and they get another kill on the Venge just after respawning.
Try to get Tiny in there, but Gabby was too fast with the time walk. Then I feel like Gabby, the Avalanche toss may not be enough to burst him down anymore. Like, he is still pretty low on HP at 1.2k, but really not be enough.
It shouldn't be, and he should be able to tread swap right before the moment anyway. Should be fairly easy enough to just tap a couple buttons, have your strength jump up by just a bit more, and that should be enough to save him. But yeah, second team wipe coming out for TNC. And a lot of patience really to use their ultimates. They wait for Tiny to die first before... they wait for the Venge to die first before committing Chrono. They wait for the Echo Slam when IO Gyro relocate in. So much patience to play around with their cooldowns. And, you know, they're just looking like a much, much more cohesive team, I have to say, compared to DBG right now. DBG has not really had the chance to play with an offensive relocate. They are gonna take. They are gonna start taking Roshan at the very least, but looks like TNC is kind of aware of this.
Yeah, but they've got no Echo, they've got no Chrono. I don't know about this team fight though. They can delay with the Fisher. Gabby, he finally gets the Chrono with the Chaos Meteor as well. They're all gonna get melted. The Chain Frost came in, and they called GG. They've had enough. How do you even play on after
22 minutes. Third team wipe for TNC.
You got 4-man Chrono into a Chain Frost, into a Chaos Meteor. I mean, you just got to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and they get out, man. They're done. Not having it anymore. Not like that. And holy heck, you can see why TNC's #1 in their group here, Mike. It's evident. That is why TNC was #1.